Okay, a lot of positives in the UCLA game, except obviously weren't able to overcome the 6 turnovers, and that was the real storyline of the game. Is I don't think I've ever been a part of a game where we turned it over 6 times and won, and so that's something that was our biggest liability on Thursday night. But our guys played hard, did some good things, particularly on defense. Proud of the way the defense hung in there in the second half. Sudden change defense was very good. With the amount of turnovers that we had, should have given up more points, but really pleased with the way the defense responded in those situations. Looking forward to Stanford. Heck of a football team, physical, probably the most physical team in the conference. Very balanced team offensively. About 50% run, 50% throw. Doing a nice job defensively as usual. They've been good on defense for a lot of years now. But, just like I said last week at UCLA, these guys are very deserving of their number 5 ranking and had a tough game against Washington, pulled it out. Washington statistically beat them up, but not in the final score, which obviously is all that matters. So we're looking forward to another opportunity on Saturday, another home game, and looking forward to another packed house and a rowdy crowd at Rice-Eccles. So questions?
So Liz just said that Travis isn't here because he's sick. I know that it was mentioned that he was sick in that game.
Yeah.
Can you kind of expand on that just a little bit, how he's feeling and where he's at?
Well, he's not feeling good. He was in bed the whole game day leading up to the game. He got sick actually the night before that, and hasn't gotten over it yet. And he's under medical care obviously, and they gave him, from what I understand, a new dose of some different antibiotics to try to get rid of this thing. So we think he's going to be okay. Should be a practice later on today, hopefully, but he's been pretty bad for the last few days.
When you look at Kevin Hogan, the Stanford quarterback, where does he stand as far as guys that you've seen and maybe some quarterbacks you've compared around the Pac-12?
Well, he's a lot like Hundley in his stature, a little bit bigger, 6'4", 230-ish. Runs the ball very effectively, throws he's up in the top half of the league in pass efficiency, and so he's another dual threat guy, just like almost everybody in this conference is. There are a few exceptions, but the weeks you play a guy that's not a dual threat is not very often anymore. It's almost every week where you got a guy that can run and throw, and he's another one of those guys.
Coach, as you went back and looked at the film, how many of those interceptions graded out to be on Travis, and how many ended up to be just circumstantial?
Yeah, very few were on Travis. He got hit a couple times as the ball was coming out, which changed the direction of the football and the flight. A couple of them were right off a receiver's hands. One was a great play by the defense, a play that the ball just kind of bobbled around and end up making the play at the end on before it hit the ground. A broken route structure. One time you were having slant and go dialed up and didn't get the whole signal on the outside, so we just ran the slant aspect of it and put the ball up, and that was the one the safety intercepted in the half. And so to tell you, Travis was if it's bad decisions, just bad throws, that's one thing. But the way these 6, and you still say, well, there were 6 interceptions, which is huge negative, but it was not all on Travis. In fact, very few of them were on Travis, 1 or 2.
Coach, can you talk to me about the halfbacks? Bubba Poole, kind of a rotation.
Yeah.
It feels like it's a heart rotation. What's going on there?
Yeah, we're trying to find out if one of the 3 will separate themselves. And right now, they're all giving us good productions. Lucky's over 6 yards a carry. Bubba's over 5 yards a carry. Kelvin's around 4 yards a carry. And so it's not a situation where we're searching for somebody to give us some production because we're getting production. We're searching to see if anyone's going to separate themselves. And if not, they'll all continue to get carries. And so they're all producing. They're all contributing. They're all doing a nice job in pass protection. And so, and I don't see that as a negative. I think it's something that if it happens, great. If not, it's not a big problem as long as we're getting production from each guy. And I don't view that like, you say when you have more than one quarterback, you don't have any. I don't think that applies to other positions like it does at QB. And so as long as they're all 3 contributing and none of them are separating themselves, it'll probably continue like that. If we get a guy that starts to be become more productive than the others, then that particular guy will be the lead ball carrier. But right now that hasn't happened.